Now we're going to go ahead and move straight into the Fourth Amendment. This is probably, most likely, the most important of these four amendments to you as a police officer out on the streets. Now, the Fourth Amendment, as written in the Bill of Rights, states, "The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the person or things to be seized." Granted, that's in Old English, so it might be a little bit confusing in the wording, but basically it means, as I stated before, unless you are actually witnessing the crime or the possibility of a crime firsthand, you're probably going to need a warrant issued by a judge to arrest or search a person or their house. Now, there's a few exceptions to the searching exclusion posed by the Fourth Amendment, and these include the person giving you consent to search their person or their vehicle or their house. And secondly, the plain view exclusion, which if you see something which is plainly illegal, like drugs or the paraphernalia or an illegal weapon, then you can seize that and arrest them for that. However, an exception to that is the smell. This is kind of a gray area, especially depending on what state you're in, because obviously some states like Colorado now have legalized marijuana, so it's kind of a gray area. You'll have to get more specifics depending on where you're located, but a smell of a certain substance alone may not particularly constitute probable cause for you to search them. Just something to bear in mind. Moving on, a few other exceptions are the Terry stop and or the Terry frisk, is whereas it doesn't have to stand up to the probable cause requirements as a normal search would, is it simply if the individual is exhibiting some sort of suspicious activity, though you'll have to justify it afterwards, you can stop them and ask them what they're doing, as well as give them a brief pat down solely for the purpose of ensuring they don't have weapons. It's not for the purposes of trying to find evidence constituting a crime. In that same vein, in that same vein is also during traffic stops. If so long as you had a valid reason to pull over that person in the first place, such as speeding, broken taillight, so on and so forth, at that point, depending if you have probable cause in that case, such as if that vehicle matches a BOLO description or something along those lines, at that point you'd probably be justified in bringing them out and searching the vehicle for any evidence considering it in a crime. Another more obvious exception is if you're already arresting somebody, you're going to search them before you put them in the back of your car anyway. So, another exception to this, though, it only applies to Customs and Border Patrol, not to a regular police officer most of the time, is obviously if they're coming across an international border, they're going to be searched no matter what. Now, the reason why the Fourth Amendment is so important for a police officer is that if you were to legally search somebody and find evidence constituting a crime of any sort, but you seized it illegally without having a warrant to do so in the first place, it's not going to be admissible in court. So, even if they have evidence on them that points to a crime, even if they have evidence that points towards them committing a crime, and you either A, arrested them illegally, or B, just searched them illegally, neither of those are going to be admissible in court. That's why this is the most important amendment for any police officer on the street. Now, when we come back, we're going to go straight into the Fifth Amendment, how it applies to you as a police officer.